Hey, holy shit, what the fuck? Oh my shit fuck. It's about the albums. Uh, and it's very much the opposite of tricks because it is not for kids. It's just, if you haven't been to any of these and you decided this was the one you wanted to jump into randomly, I'll just explain quick. I'm talking about these albums that I made and just saying little interesting tidbits about them and all the songs on them. And I'll leave links in the description and timestamps, links to the full songs, link to the full album, and timestamps each song on here so you can look at each one individually and get back to it. It's easier to navigate, all that good stuff. And also, this is, I'm going through this because I remastered all these, so, until I get to a certain point when I mention so, they'll just be remasters of stuff I had out before. I just remastered them through Audacity from the existing audio file. So, that's that in a nutshell. This one is the album Things and Stuff. Originally released in August of 2014. And this one, from what I remember, the title is just kind of I didn't really know what to call it. It's just like more songs. So it's like, I thought Things and Stuff was... It's just kind of a funny way to be a lame way or like a kind of dumb way of saying etc., I guess. It's got all that, there's things and stuff. It's just it's vague and it's, I don't know. I thought it was kind of funny. So it's just more songs. And from what I remember, this is a decently solid album, so we'll see if that holds up from what I think. But, I don't know. So that's... We'll go with that. We'll see what goes on. I really don't know. I don't have a whole lot else to preface this, really, I guess. Again, it's just one that I recorded a bunch of stuff on. And, I guess we'll see. We'll hear. We'll know. I'd love to be like this one. I'd love to be like this one. I'd love to be like this one. We kick off the album with an object. And it's going pretty literal with the things and stuff idea. It's a thing. And I guess multiple things could be stuff. And it's like, I think I was referencing a bit of the cover art, thinking of it too. It's or just the idea of pointing to different things, be like, I'd like to be like this one. I'd like to be like this one. And the overall concept for the song is just wanting to be an object because it's simpler. You don't have to, you don't have a mind or a soul or anything. You don't have to worry about anything. You just are a thing. And that's much easier and simpler. It's not complex like being a person. Or even a living creature, really. So it's kind of almost it's dark. It's kind of a weird, creepy thing. But I really like the music in it too, the tones I picked and the way it's kind of quiet too. I really, really like the harmonies I came up with for singing the notes. I think those came out really well. So I actually really like this one, even though it is a really strange, creepy way to start an album. I do really like this song. Again, I think this was a point too when I was trying to find some new tones I wanted to use. And I think I found some other I had some new favorites I was starting to incorporate a bit more. So it's not as wall of soundy. It's a little bit thinner with more interesting pieces you can pick out, but we'll see if that idea that I'm thinking of holds up throughout this whole thing or if I'm just getting ahead of myself. But that is an object. So I guess, really, I don't have anyone to blame because I'm objectifying myself. Fucking volcano, fucking volcano, fucking volcano. Fucking Volcano was a song it's basically about, look, the first line was drown the fucking volcano in a bottle of Drano. Or with a bottle of Drano. Is it in or with? No, I don't know. I think it goes in a bottle of Drano. But the idea is you're just pouring a bunch of Drano down a volcano, and that's
killing it because of the chemicals, like it's a person, I guess. Just a weird, bizarre line that came out of my mouth, and I was like, I'm gonna build a song around that. I think it's something really funny about it's like the chorus is like fucking volcano. Like I'm just pronouncing fucking volcano for that. I don't know. It's goofy. And the intro part where like it's just kind of like playing that main whatever, like the main riff going on. It was interesting because that like goes on for a while for like the intro, and it wasn't intentional for this to happen, but it did. Because like for my vocals, there's like an echo going on with it, and I just made that echo by like layers of stuff on the vocal part. And when I was recording the vocal track, I guess I didn't like music was way lower in that track because I was trying to focus on my vocals, and you can hear a bird making noises in that, like the screeching of a bird. But in the beginning, it's cool because you have kind of like the echo on it too, and so it's like kind of cool that has like little thing in the intro. It's like going on, like echoing and hearing that go. Like that was just totally unplanned, and I actually really like that in there. So like I was like, I'm actually glad this ended up in the song. At the time, I was really pissed off because like, I wish this bird would shut the fuck up so I could record this. But now it's like, oh, that's cool. I like that actually a lot. It's one of the things I remember about the song. Be like, oh, that's neat. And I like the instruments and stuff too. The actual like music of it is fun. Singing part is I don't sing it particularly well. It's not like it's great lyrics. Kind of repeats the same thing over and over. But it's got some cool tones for the instruments and cool little solo-y bit at the end too. Or like you want to just break down the middle solo-y bit too. It's kind of like I like that. It's like very like a lot of like kind of thin like clearly keyboard guitars. I don't know. I like it. Overall, an okay song with a goofy start, a goofy idea of like, I'm going to build off of that, and then an unexpected, hey, this bird thing sounds cool. And we ended up with something that's okay.
My potato, my potato, my potato, my potato.
My Potato is, well, it could be a fitting song just about a potato, which would work with the things and stuff theme, but really it's more kind of geared like towards this thing. It was kind of like likening that to this relationship I had with my girlfriend, and then like it was growing, and then it's like all of a sudden like she's dying. It's like, where'd you go? It goes kind of like a dark like tones to that, but I do like that the song sounds kind of like happy, and that's interesting. Like spin on something that is like I did have a dark idea for, because it doesn't have like the, I don't know if this makes any sense. It doesn't have like the sarcastic happy that I've done in some stuff, or like the forced happy sound, or like, hey, it's a happy like tone tune and stuff, or it's like, this is me acting happy about a thing that's clearly like not a happy thing. This could just be seen as like someone that's like, oh yeah, you like this potato or whatever it's supposed to be, I don't know. It's interesting in that, and I like some of the tones picked too, like the guitar. I was clearly doing a lot of like that guitar tone, and a lot of like that kind of like weird like organ thing. I kind of like that kind of organ in there is neat. I'm doing like those guitars and organs were they were a thing I guess I was starting to do more. So I like the little like solo-y bits with that a lot and the way that sounds. And I like the chorus, the way that works is good. I like the verse parts too. I kind of like that I have like the double voice thing of like they kind of overlap a little bit after like the last word of the thing leading into the chorus. So I like that effect along with like the choices I made for the notes to sing on both parts. And just the flow of it. It came together into a pretty good song. And also, I've since had two people that really liked it. I think one was because they were from Ireland. They were like potatoes, I guess. And then the other one because they like to liken themselves to a potato frequently. And so I'm glad that people like it. For sure. It's nice that something with such a weird like idea of like a dark spin into a happy song. It could be a generic concept that people like that. That's cool. That's awesome. That is my potato.
Nintendo 64. Nintendo 64.
Nintendo 64 is about the video game system, the Nintendo 64. I'm a huge fan of the Nintendo 64. If you're you've been on the channel a while, you probably know this. But yes, very much so. Grew up with it. Love the system. Probably my favorite system. And just I don't know. I had this cool riff. Like the music in this is really cool. I really like the tones and everything, the way they come together, the flow of the song, and it's not too long. So it's a nice one where if this was too long, it would get really repetitive, and you'd be like, whatever. But also like the singing was okay. I had the two like layers, but I clearly like on the high part got a little out of my range on the chorus a bit, and you can kind of tell I'm straining to try and hit those notes. But yeah, it's just me listing off Nintendo 64 games. And making it rhyme. And, I guess, I said, like, these are only 4, because, like, that was the tag thing for a lot of them, was, like, only 4, like, in the corner, and it's, like, Nintendo 64, which, at the time, that was true, because there were a lot of games that didn't have that, because they were also on other systems, most notably, probably also the PlayStation, but, now a lot of that's been a lie because of things like, Virtual Console, because of, re-releases and remasters and rights changing hands and whatnot. So, I always thought that was kind of funny. But I like that I threw it in there. And, cause they did that on, like, GameCube for a while, too. Like, I think it was, like, a short period of, like, this is only for here, this is only on this system. And then they kind of quit doing that when they realized that it probably wouldn't stay that way, anymore. So, that's... God, they may have even done it on Super Nintendo, I'm not sure. They may have started it there. Yeah. Also, I like that I brought up The Legend of Zelda. And I just said The Legend of Zelda twice, because there's 2 Zelda games on the Nintendo 64. Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. So I like that I just brought it up twice. I don't know. That was funny. Yeah, there were a couple things, I guess, that, I'm trying to think all the things I just said. There may have been something on there that wasn't only for Nintendo 64 at the time also. I think maybe the vagueness of saying just like Mega Man, that was the one. That was the one where it kind of bothered me a bit. Because there's Mega Man 64, but that was Mega Man Legends, which was already on the PlayStation, so that wasn't only for, but, it wasn't only for that, but I don't know. Other than that, this is all stuff that's probably not that interesting if you're here for, like, I want to hear about the music stuff. And I'm over here, like, I'm here to talk to you guys about music, but secretly I just want to talk to you about video games even more. That's all my content, really. It's just a ruse to get you to listen to me talk about video games.
Call for help, this brick is bleeding. Call for help, this brick is bleeding. Call for help, this brick is bleeding.
Bleedin Brick is about a actual brick that's bleeding out, needs help. So making it seem like it's more human, like it's bleeding and it's going to die, and kind of like being like, why are you ignoring it? Why are you ignoring this brick that's bleeding? Because it's a brick. It's still bleeding. It's still going to die. That kind of idea, which is really goofy. It worked with the things and stuff. Whole theme I got going. I guess a brick is a thing. And you can tell partway, near the end of the song, I kind of ran out of like, what do I even say now to do this anymore? And that's why I have the lines of 1, 2, 3 and like ABC as like the start to the lines, which is just, great lyricist I am. I'm also going a little bit out of my range with the singing in this too, where I don't know if I always hit the right notes when I do that. I did okay, I guess. Overall, just, you know, it's okay, I guess. The music part's alright, the lyrics are okay, the singing's okay. It's not, I don't think it's a great song, but, it's an interesting idea, I suppose. I like that. And, yeah, it's still here, it still exists. So, it's, what more do you really say about a Bleedin Brick? I have an apostrophe in it. Instead of having the ing, it's an in and an apostrophe. Because I didn't really pronunciate bleeding. I kind of pronounce it as bleedin'. And that gives it 90s radness.
Run away from, run away from, run away from boots. Run away from, run away from, run away from shoes.
Footwear. Yet again, talking about a thing like shoes and boots. Footwear. I kind of took the song a little more literally. The idea of like you're always like you're like wearing all these different kinds of footwear, and it's like, I don't know, run away from, because like you have to run in them. I don't know why you'd be running away from them. I don't know. You run with the things, I guess. So it's footwear, not of running. And I do like that somebody, I believe when I originally posted this, someone did comment on it, and they were like, I really like the deep meaning in your songs. Whatever. I like that you have this thing of like, because what they got out of it was like, yeah, because they're talking about like, as like working shoes and other stuff, and like these different kinds of footwear for different things. And it's like, you're running away from the footwear because you're like running away from like responsibility. And I was like, that's cool that somebody got that out of it, when I actually was just talking about like just trying to focus it on about the footwear itself, and like how do I fit this into mentioning different kinds of footwear, making it rhyme in a song. And the music itself I like a lot too. I like the just the general like instruments and stuff used, and like the progression of that, and I do like it just a little bit shorter too, and so it's kind of like it does end. The double voice thing works well. I seem to be doing better with some of the double voice stuff, layering myself, not doing too many voices, and doing good stuff with the voices I do have. So I'm liking the this range. Like, even though this song itself does sound a little more like something I would have done before, it sounds like a better version of that. So like, you can tell I'm kind of shifting to some different tones and styles a little bit, but still I don't mind doing the other stuff, and I'm getting better at doing the stuff I used to do anyway. So I don't know, it's interesting. It's an interesting little number. And the footwear I have on currently are socks. You can't see them, because I'm not going to move the camera or put my foot that high. But believe me, they are socks.
Shadows on the window. Shadows on the window.
Shadows on the Window is about like when you're kind of like the idea of like you're like a little kid and you're trying to sleep, and then like there's like light outside, whether it's like street lights or moonlight or lightning or something, with the idea that like that light is casting shadows because it hits trees, and hitting those weird, and it makes it seem like some kind of like a person's out there, or like a creature's out there or something, when it's not, and just that basic concept. So that's why some of the tones I kind of like, that they're like, the almost like childish kind of like chime sounds, to make it seem more like, oh yeah, like a when you're a little kid, like kind of a cliche like little like kid bell noise thing. I don't know, hard to explain that really very well, but I guess if you understand what I mean, then you do, and if you don't, then I don't know how to explain it better. That's the downside of me being an idiot. And it's just that simple concept. And I kind of like the way it turned out. To like the way the bass really carries the song along with those like those nice chimes up there. And I like that there's like really high like synth bass thing for like the solo bit. I really like that, the way that kind of like harmonizes with things for the solo. And yeah, I don't know, it's kind of a neat little song that's like, you know, trying to, it does a good job of having that feeling of like trying to calm you, even though this thing is like a thing that's still like fresh, like you're kind of like still like freshly, like you're just calmed from being scared. It kind of has that tone to it, I feel like, and I like that. So I think I hit that pretty good. And that is Shadows on the Window. I also sang it okay. I should maybe mention that. I think I sang it okay, which is rare for me. And that is Shadows on the Window. Something I don't have to worry about now because I have blackout curtains. So, I mean, nothing's getting through there. That's just the only thing I have to be afraid of is the fucking void of that swallowing me whole. Which is, you know, unlikely because, I mean, what void is big enough to swallow me?
I wish the world would be simpler. I'm breaking down with the whimper.
Whimper is about having just a really sad, pathetic breakdown where you just kind of give up on everything. Something that I kind of just felt like I was either already doing or was ready to do at this point. And actually, this was originally going to be the album title, and it was going to be like, I think it was going to gear more things towards this too. I even characterized it as like all lowercase to make it seem like it's, you know, just a quiet, like, you know, low profile thing. And I really like the, just like some of the tones I picked, I like, and I like that they kind of get showcased as it goes too, or it's like the guitar things, like here's the piano bit under it, and then here's the thing, it's like this other guitar over like this guitar bit, and then there's like the part where it's like a weird, like, whatever that high, like, I don't know if it's a high bass tone or if it's like a high, like, synth thing going on there, for like the beeps or whatever that is. Almost like an electric chime-ish thing, and then I just like that it's so I like that it like breaks down after like the verse and the chorus, and it like breaks down into like, here's a showcase of an instrument to give it like some room to breathe and make it still feel very like, it doesn't keep building, it keeps like going back down and like it's just losing the energy, and being like quieter. I like that. I think it works well with it, and also I kind of like the way it ends too, where it just kind of like slowly like pieces, all those pieces, like they're all together at the end of it there, and then they all just kind of like slowly fall off. I like that. I think it's done in a way that's very interesting, and it works with the mood of the song and like the concept of the song. A lot of that comes together, and I sing it within my range because I don't sing it out very much. It's very reserved, almost spoken for a lot of it. So it's Whimper is cool. I like it. I mean, I must have liked it if I was thinking of making it the title track, and making the album called that, you know. But that's Whimper. Whimper. Well, that's a whisper. That's not a whimper if I do that. I'm sure I'll edit it out later.
I don't know, I don't care. I don't know, I don't care.
The Loop is has the song. I kind of talked about it vaguely and mentioned it back on the About the Albums on Generation, which that was where I originally came up with the riffs and everything, was on there in the PlayStation game MTV Music Generator. And this is where I kind of figured out how to play those riffs on my keyboard. And so I decided to turn it into a song with words. It also sounds really similar to like the way the chorus part of the Nomad. It sounds very similar to the Nomad, or Nomad, Is it The Nomad or Nomad? I don't even know my own goddamn song titles from the Pool of Creation. So it's similar to other things I've done, I guess. And it came out not as cool as the original of this. But I like that I got to sing on it. I think originally also I wasn't even going to call it The Loop, but because it was the same stuff, I decided to just whatever. I'm going to call it The Loop because I wanted to. It's what I think of when I think of that song progression. So it's weird. It would be weird to have the same progression and tone, like the same all the riffs, and be like, no, it's a different song. And it's basically just. The title is going to give it. I'm getting all over the place in my head. I'm sorry. Hopefully I'm not talking too fast to make it impossible to understand. But like I was going to call it, I think the working title was IDK, IDC, just all those letters mashed together. Because it was basically that chorus of I don't know, I don't care was it just me. Because like the verses don't really mean much of anything. They're just like, I thought that sounded kind of vaguely neat to say these things. And the chorus of I don't know, I don't care were just, it was kind of me trying to vent some of my frustrations of, I took these really personally when I heard these at the time. I've gotten better about it, but there were a lot of times, especially at that time, when people would say I don't know or I don't care, and I would take it way too personally. So like the idea of like I don't know was thrown around a lot, or just IDK or whatever for short. It's like I don't know. And I feel like that would be thrown at me a lot when I would like ask something, I'd be trying to make conversation. I'd be putting a lot of effort forward to be like, hey, like, what about this? Like, you wanted to like, what do you think of this? Or what about that? And then they respond with things like, I don't know. And then just kind of leave it there and not contribute anything and I'm still just here doing all the work in the conversation and getting things like, I don't know. And just, that's it. I'm done. Now it's your turn to talk again if you want to, or like I'll have to stop talking to them after that, and then they just will never talk to me again because the last thing they said was I don't know to me, and that's all they ever, they're only talking to me because obligation, because I asked them a thing, so they wanted to respond I don't know. And then the other thing was like I don't care. I think that one was probably worse, just because usually when people are using that too, it's like, yeah, like you want to do like, it's like, yeah, do you want to like do this thing or this thing or something, right? Like give them like an option for things, and they're like some options like, oh yeah, I want to like, I think like oh, I want to see me like stream these games, like do you want to like do this thing together sometime or something? And it's like you give like a few options or whatever, and they're like, I don't care. And especially through like text, it's in the message of that, it's like it's very, very easy to misread that because you can't hear them. So what they probably mean it as is like I don't care, like whatever's fine with me, that kind of thing, right? But what it comes off as, to me, or what it did anyways at the time, because very in a bad headspace. It's in a bad headspace, and so it will come off as it's like I don't care, like essentially that like they didn't give a shit whether even they did it or not. They don't care about any of that, and like I took it like way too personally. It was bad. Don't do that. But that's the curious tale behind this version of The Loop. So hopefully that was interesting and not just me sounding still crazy, because I want to say I'm not, but I'm not a professional. I'm not qualified to say I'm not crazy. Like I can't just get myself the stamp of not crazy. I don't have a fucking, think I have a stamp sitting around for that? Because if you think that, then I guess that makes you crazy. But I can't. Again, I can't qualify you as that. I can't stamp you as that because I don't have the stamp. So, sorry.
Radio Doctor. Radio Doctor.
Radio Doctor is about somebody who's sick, and they're trying to call a doctor. They're trying to get a hold of him, but they just can't. The doctor's just not answering their calls anymore. And so eventually they just call somebody up on the radio and tell them to play a song for them. It's like, this'll help you out for this sick guy. It's kind of that kind of concept. It's a weird, strange concept. And the singing thing is not great singing because there's a lot of just really being really shouty. The singing part, when it does at the end with the chorus, I guess that part is like, I guess that part sounds cool. And it's all, I do like this kind of bass around like this, like the weird whatever tone that was. It just keeps like repeating throughout the whole thing and then doing different stuff around it to separate the bits. But so like while it's an interesting song, it's not really that good. It's another one of those cases of interesting does not necessarily mean good. And I might like it, but I totally understand that a lot of people probably won't. And I don't know, I do kind of like the line, trying to call the doctor because I'm puking through my eyes, which is like one of those exaggerated things I've said when I'm like really angry. And it's like, I'm so mad, like I could puke through my eyes. Like, it's something like that. So I thought that was a funny thing to throw in there. But Radio Doctor, I don't know. This album, so far, it does seem like it's kind of, it's interesting, it's different, and I'm clearly just having some fun with it where I can. So I'm liking that. So I don't know if Radio Doctor I don't know if it was actually me referencing Frasier or not. Maybe subconsciously. Because I think I'd watched all of Frasier at that point. Maybe. But I don't know. I can't say. So you can't quote me on that. Because I didn't specifically say that I did it. Okay? Are we clear? Fuckwad.
Writing on your paper. Writing on your paper.
Writing on your paper is about people writing on paper or just using paper in lots of different ways. It's kind of like it's almost an environmentalist take, but obviously it's being a little like exaggeratory about it. I feel like the way I sing the chorus, it also is almost like I'm like elitist or like snobby or something. Like the voice is like writing on your paper as if I have something so much better to write on or something. I don't know. And then like at the end though too, like I like that it has I wrote the song because I wrote it on paper. It's like, let's replicate it and like make copies of it. And it's like, and rip it from the trees is like, yeah, we'll cut down more trees to make more paper to make copies of it. So, I don't know, it's a fun little song. It's a different take on the idea of making a song about paper and be like, how would I put a spin on it? I don't want it to just be about paper itself, which is a thing. So I talked about stuff you can do with that thing. And I really like the, you can also hear the style thing of like I have that guitar and then like the organ thing. You can kind of hear like that was a thing. Again, I kind of shifted to doing more of those. I was really liking that at the time. And I also did like I liked the bass line with it. It was really cool. I thought that stuck out really well with the stuff. And without it necessarily being the bass line that drives everything. So that was cool. So obviously like the main guitar part was really driving everything. Yeah, and I also kind of like the little like false end, sort of like in the middle there, where it's like, oh, it sounds like it's ending now, but then it goes back into the song again, because it's like breaking down like last stuff is like left, and it's just like these higher bits of like the harmonica and the organ stuff and the main guitar. Yeah, it's neat. I don't know. It's a song that I guess isn't super serious, but still manages to be pretty cool. So there's not a whole lot more to say about writing on your paper.
No one seems to hear a single word. No one wants to even say they heard. No one cares about you, worthless turd. 'Cause people suck.
People Suck is the final song on the album, and it's a lot of the people hatiness that I had of the time. coming into a culmination with bad experiences. Having lots of people that I start talking to people like online and other stuff, and in real life too, and just talking to them, and then they just kind of get bored of me, and then they don't want to talk anymore, they don't respond anymore. I don't know, they just kind of like drift away. And I guess it's kind of from a time in your life where that's bound to happen a lot. You're young, especially if you're going from high school to like college and that kind of stuff, and bouncing around. It's then I guess getting out of college. I mean, getting kicked out is also different too, I guess. But yeah, like, I don't know, there's a lot of people that you kind of come in contact with and then lose contact with, and it just felt, especially with like online stuff too added, it just felt like a lot of, man, like, I don't like people, like, I don't feel like people are very good friends a lot of times, and maybe I'm not a very good friend either, and I don't know, I hate them and myself, and a lot of that just kind of is this song. It's just like, and you kind of tell too, like in some of the lyrics, it's like, it sucks, like people are just leaving and they're going away, but like ultimately I'm kind of just blaming myself, because it's like, it must be me, like they just don't want to be friends with me, like they're friends with other people, just not with me, so it must be me. Yeah, I really like the song itself though, like the music I like. I do kind of like the mood of it too. Sorry, my nose is super itchy. I don't know why. And like, I don't know, it's good. It's catchy. It's a song I like, I guess. It's hard to say much else. I guess because it works with the sadness and like that kind of like, that self-hatred thing that I had going there. It still kind of resonates a bit. Like, I still doubt myself a lot. I'm still trying to check myself a lot, and I feel like the introspection can be helpful. So I still feel some of this stuff, but it's the song itself is still good. One of the best ones on this album, and it's actually, interestingly, the music part, it's like, it was a riff I made up in an instrumental song before that I no longer have up, because this exists and it's basically the same riff but better stuff on it, with a cool like sine wave thing thrown in for like the solo-y bit, which is a pretty standard thing. I didn't really do anything crazy with the solo. It could have used a little more variation on it, but I still thought it was neat, and helped end the song, interestingly. But like the instrumental song was called 125 Miles. I just thought it sounded like a traveling, or like someone is like far away or something. And I always liked that, but that was like kind of long for something that's just instrumental. So I like that this is like a bit shorter and has more stuff to it. Even though there's not really like a chorus or anything either, it's just me, sad singing, I guess. But I stayed within range and stuff, and that's People Suck. That's you kind of know what you're getting into when you click on that. You're like, well, I have an idea, right? And that's the whole album. Again, any other questions you might have for the songs and stuff, like, ask me in the comments. I'll do my best to answer those. Check out all the timestamps and links and other crap in the description. I'll do what I can for helping out, figure more things out for people who are interested. And even if you were totally bored the whole time, if you're still here at this point, thanks for, hanging around. That's cool. I don't know. I never know how to end these or any of the clips or to start these. I'm really not very good at YouTube, but it's cool that people still hang out and well, just that they hang out, I guess. And I know most of you at this point, at least a good 40% of you are still here just for the pool to see when this button falls off, but it's still hanging in there. Just like you guys in the views. And, well, see you for the next one, I guess. Unless you don't show up, I guess, then I won't. But that's a time when seeing makes some sense. I guess you'll see me in the next one, at least. I mean, I'm just a video. If you're seeing this, I'm already Sam. I leave all of my possessions to my subscribers. So, be sure to just smash that like button and, have some hardcore sex with that bell so you don't miss out on a single video. Did I mention in the beginning this is not for kids? Because, God, I hope I did at this point. If this gets marked as kids, as for kids retroactively, that's YouTube's fault. YouTube didn't look at this part. And, I can't be held responsible for any, bodily harm that your sexual organs may endure from trying to fornicate with bells of any kind. Of any kind. The artwork for things and stuff here in the remaster hasn't changed much. It's actually just a better picture of the original picture I took. But I originally drew this in an art class, and it was just a thing of like trying to understand like lighting on objects. So I thought it was kind of fitting to just have these simple objects. They're like things. So I've always like kind of liked the simplicity of the picture, and I don't know if I did an amazing job with how the light source is affecting these things, or how to draw them. But I've always kind of liked this, like I don't know, just like the look of them is neat. It's all done just like in pencil. And all I really did for the remaster, was just take a better picture with my phone instead of my old video camera. Sucked at taking pictures, so I took it with my newer phone here and tried to get okay lighting and stuff and brighten it up and make it look sharp. And then in the Photos app in Windows 10, and then I added in the text of things and stuff and my name on there. That's really all I did to really change it. And I think it works fine for, it's just album art. It's just the same picture as before, but taken better, and just, I don't know, like, it just going along with the idea of things and objects and stuff. Even though we kind of drifted from that a bit on parts of the album, that's what the art was about. And it's still up on my wall, so, I mean, eventually it's gonna start just fading away to time, but for now, it does still exist.
Cause I'm puking through my eyes.